whispering in the trees. It's two cities and they're only
a voice of the working man. You know what I'm saying? Through the political process.
No, I don't know what you're saying. Oh, for the second time, I don't know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I couldn't disagree with you more, but I understand it.
Okay.
It's not the average guy down in Indianapolis. It's organized. There's a big difference between when the guy walks out of his house and looks around and says, "Hey, you know what? We got to do something about this." And he just looks around, and then somebody down the street walks out, gives him the thumbs up. That's the people. This is not the people. This is an organized movement by the unions. It's totally different.
Okay, you know what? They're allowed to come down here, the unorganized people. They're allowed to come out
they're
down
not.
here and state their voice.
Exactly, but they're not.
And then you know what? That's their own fault.
You know why? Because they're too unorganized to pull it off. That's why.
Right.
Hey, wait a second.
I
Where are
still
we
love
going? Let's go way out to Crown Point and talk to Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hey, preacher, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Hey, I've worked commission my whole life. That's since 1980 when I graduated college. I've been working commission, so I know how it is to work hard and make what you earn. But Walt's has some good points, and Walt's been around the world and he knows what's going on. But while I'm talking to you right now, the name calling has to stop. Calling the person a communist, calling the person, and when he says gay, he means it in a negative connotation. We live in a world now where people should be people. I don't judge anybody if they're gay, lesbian, black, white, whatever. They're all people. So let's stop the name calling. And unions have their rights, and I'm sure that Walt, if when he flies abroad, he's guaranteed a good flight. But I'm telling you what, Walt, go fly the Soviet Union air companies or the China air companies. Walt doesn't fly those companies because he knows there's no union behind them and there's no protection behind those people that are putting those planes out and maintaining those planes. So you can't have both ends, preacher.
10-4. I don't know that I can agree. I only 10-4'd him on his opinion. I don't know. I'm not 10-4ing him on his thought process there. I don't know that the unions make the employee any better. A happy employee makes a better employee, I suppose. You could go that angle, but that's stretching it a little bit. I could be happy and not be in a union. And there are a lot of people, millions of people, obviously, who go to work. No one wants to go to work. Do they really want to go to work? It's not so bad for me. I enjoy coming in here. But when I worked in Vegas, I enjoyed going to work there. When I worked in New Orleans at the Hyatt, I enjoyed going to work. So it's not a question if you have to make trillions of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to make it worth your while. It's kind of finding your niche. Let's go to Highland and talk to Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hey, Preach. I want to bring up, you talk about seniority. Well, not all unions have seniorities. In the construction trades, you have to get out there and you have to work and prove yourself every day. And, so that seniority is out the window. It doesn't matter if you've been on there 10 years or you were just hired. If you're doing a better job, you're going to stay. Most of your arguments that you're having.
Oh, wait a second.
I don't
but
feel,
wait.
Can I talk?
Well, no, Jim, you can talk, but when you've made one point, I have to pop in there because I'm not so sure that we understand one another. Then you can make your next point. I'm not deed-lowing you, but I'm not going to just put you up on a soapbox. Okay, still my show. How do they increase pay with the construction guys? The guy that nails more nails, the guy who does a better job, or the guy who has been there longer?
Everyone makes the same money no matter how long you've been there unless you get promoted to a foreman.
Okay, go ahead.
Or a general foreman. If you have apprentices, they're at a rate. They get a rate all the way through their apprenticeship, and then you're a journeyman, and you make the same. And the way, in the construction trades, the way you make more money by working hard and keeping your job and going to the next job. If you want to be a guy that doesn't want to do anything, you're going to get laid off, and you're not going to go to the next job.
Okay, so I understand. You're back sitting in the hall.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, and you know, here again with the I'm in the construction trades.
That's cool.
All right, and being part of the union, it's a very important thing because there's a lot of contractors out there that won't pay you a decent rate. There's contractors out there right now, the guys bust their butt and they still don't give them more than $15 an hour. You know, and they're just never going to pay them anymore because they're not in the union. And that's what the union's fighting for. And we don't go out there and we don't attack our employers. We're in a partnership with our employers.
Oh.
If they're not profitable, we don't have jobs. So our whole point is that we want to work with our contractors and make them more profitable, and so they can get more jobs, so that we can make more money and live better.
Well, isn't it possible that the employers that you're talking about, at least in some cases, the ones that you mentioned, and I don't know if it's real or unreal, $15 an hour, we'll use that. Isn't it possible that those employers are paying what the market will bear for their business? Maybe they're not the biggest business in the world. They don't have that many jobs. They pay what they can afford to pay. Do you argue that?
You can find on many jobs when after they've been awarded, if they've been awarded to a non-union contractor over a union contractor, a lot of times there's not that much of a difference. Let's for an example, on a $100,000 job, there might have been a $2,000 difference, and they're paying their people considerably less, and they're not usually paying health care. I'm not saying all contractors. There are some good non-union contractors that do treat their people well, but a lot of them do not. And they don't give them health care. They don't give them a retirement. So all that money goes into that contractor's pocket, and those people are still making very little and just struggling to get by.
And I still have to believe that there's some employers out there, Jim, that understand if I don't have some good employees, I'm not going to have a good product. So I can't just go out there and run roughshod over everyone. I have to have a good workforce.